The Stoic's Guide to Recognizing Exploitation, 20 Signs You're Being Used. In the tapestry of life, woven with threads of connection, compassion, and kindness, we often extend ourselves to others. We offer a helping hand, a listening ear, and a shoulder to lean on, believing in the inherent goodness of humanity and the power of reciprocal relationships. But what happens when these virtues, intended as bridges, become stepping stones for those who seek to exploit our generosity? What happens when our kindness is not met with appreciation, but rather with calculated manipulation and selfish opportunism? Have you ever paused to consider if your kindness is taken as a weakness? Have you ever felt that nagging sense of unease, that you're being used, that your efforts are not valued but merely seen as an inexhaustible resource? You provide unwavering support during their time of need, confident in the strength of your bond. However, once they've navigated their crisis, gratitude is conspicuously absent. Your contributions are dismissed, and acknowledgement seems beyond their reach. And when you require similar support, they seem to evaporate, as if your shared experiences were mere figments of your imagination. That sensation of disappointment, that pang of frustration, is a universal human experience. While it's tempting to believe the world operates with an understanding of reciprocal kindness, the reality is that exploiters exist, those who are adept at identifying and manipulating compassionate individuals for their own selfish gains. This can be very subtle and make you feel guilty for even considering the exploitation. Stoic philosophy can help us with such issues. The aim of this video is to give you an understanding of signs of exploitation and not make you a bitter or resentful person. So join me as we delve into 20 telltale signs that you might be inadvertently taken advantage of, exploring subtle cues and blatant red flags that are often overlooked. We will look at them through a Stoic lens, to give you the resilience to handle it. We'll equip you with the tools of self-awareness and self-control, empowering you to navigate relationships with greater clarity, protect yourself from undue harm, and cultivate stronger, more fulfilling connections based on mutual respect and genuine appreciation. In the world of YouTube, this video will hopefully stand out as a guide to empowering you to not be exploited. Before we begin, commit to watching this video in its entirety. Each example, each piece of advice, has been carefully curated not only to arm you against exploitation but also to illuminate the path toward healthier, more enduring relationships. This isn't just about self-defense, it's about fostering authentic connections and building a life grounded in integrity and mutual respect. Now, let's embark on this journey of self-discovery. 1. Broken promises. The foundation of any robust relationship is built upon trust. Trust is earned through consistent actions, where words align with deeds. Promises, therefore, become sacred vows, representing not only our intention but also our commitment to honoring the other person's expectations and valuing their emotional investment. Every promise carries a moral weight, embodying self-management and personal accountability. It's a reflection of our respect for the other person's time, emotions, and needs. When promises are repeatedly broken, it's not merely an oversight or a minor inconvenience, it's a profound erosion of trust, a blatant disregard for the emotional well-being of the other party. This can come in many subtle ways. Imagine a scenario: you've poured considerable effort into supporting a friend, perhaps assisting them with a business venture or a personal project. They enthusiastically pledge their unwavering support in return, promising to be there for you as you navigate your own challenges. However, as time passes, their actions tell a different story. They consistently find excuses to avoid assisting you, sidestepping their commitments with carefully crafted justifications. Initially, you might dismiss it as a simple oversight, a temporary lapse in judgment. However, as the pattern continues, it becomes painfully clear that their promises were hollow, devoid of genuine intention. This repeated breach of trust doesn't only create uncertainty in the relationship, it acts as a resounding warning sign, suggesting that you might be taken advantage of. The breaking of promises is not just an act of negligence, it's a revelation of character. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the interconnectedness of trust and respect, viewing them as two sides of the same coin. A person who disregards their promises demonstrates a fundamental lack of ethical principles and a disregard for mutual respect. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." He wasn't just talking about the end of a bad project or goal, but also toxic relationships. Consider the friend who breaks promises is not only damaging the relationship but also revealing their true character. It teaches you a profound lesson, to evaluate individuals not merely on their spoken words but on the consistency of their actions. Is their behavior consistent with their words? Do they honor their commitments, even when it's inconvenient? This assessment will provide invaluable insights into their trustworthiness and their genuine regard for you. In today's fast-paced world, where commitments are often treated lightly, it's crucial to cultivate a discerning eye. Learn to recognize the subtle cues that indicate a person's reliability. Pay attention to their past behavior, their communication style, and their willingness to follow through on their promises. Remember, trust is not a given, it's earned. And once broken, it's incredibly difficult to repair. The inability to honor promises should not be accepted lightly, because it usually is a symptom of other negative issues. 2. Disregarding your emotions or needs. At the heart of Stoicism is the principle of personal autonomy, the inherent right to manage one's emotions and attend to one's needs. When someone consistently disregards your emotions and needs, it's not simply a lack of empathy, it's a challenge to your fundamental autonomy, a subtle attempt to diminish your worth and assert control over your life. It's a devaluing of your feelings. You begin to feel that your problems and needs are inferior to those of other people. One of the most insidious signs of being taken advantage of is the feeling that you constantly sacrifice your emotions and needs to accommodate others. You might find yourself accepting unfavorable decisions merely to maintain peace, suppressing your own desires and opinions to avoid conflict. Perhaps you're always the listener, the confidant, the supportive friend, but you rarely have the opportunity to share your own feelings or seek support in return. You might come up with all sorts of ways to justify it to yourself. This dynamic directly contradicts the core principles of Stoicism, which emphasize the importance of balance and fair treatment in relationships. For a relationship to thrive, there must be an equilibrium, a reciprocal exchange of care and consideration. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote extensively about the importance of self-respect and the need to protect oneself from undue influence. He would see the need to protect your emotions as a high priority. When you feel perpetually belittled, when your emotions are dismissed, it's essential to ask yourself, am I relinquishing my personal power in protecting my emotions and needs? When others disregard your feelings, it's not merely a sign of disrespect, it's an opportunity to practice autonomy, to assert your boundaries, and to stand up for your rights. Remember, each individual has a responsibility to safeguard their spirit and independence. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation. Imagine yourself attending a family gathering where your opinions are consistently dismissed or ridiculed. You might express concerns about a particular issue, only to be met with condescending remarks or dismissive laughter. Over time, you begin to internalize this negativity, questioning your own judgment and suppressing your desire to express your thoughts. This is a classic example of emotional disregard, where your feelings are devalued and your voice is silenced. It is very common within families. When you recognize that your emotions and needs are being consistently overlooked, it's time to reevaluate the relationship from the perspective of self-esteem and autonomy. This involves setting boundaries, asserting your needs, and refusing to compromise your emotional well-being for the sake of others. It's about cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and refusing to tolerate disrespect. This not only protects you from exploitation but also fosters a more authentic and fulfilling life, one that is grounded in your own principles and values. 3. Betrayal. Trust is the bedrock upon which deep, meaningful relationships are built. It's the invisible glue that binds individuals together, creating a sense of security, vulnerability, and shared purpose. Betrayal, therefore, is not merely a transgression, it's a seismic event that shatters this foundation, leaving behind a landscape of emotional wreckage. It's a profound violation of trust and respect, a reflection of a fundamental lack of personal ethics. When a friend, partner, or loved one betrays you, they're not just demonstrating that their personal interests outweigh the relationship, they're revealing a deep-seated disregard for the true value of human connection. This violation can come in many ways. The hurt from such a betrayal can also be difficult to come to terms with. Let's consider the story of David and Anna, colleagues and close friends who collaborated on numerous creative projects for their company. David, trusting Anna implicitly, shared an innovative project idea he had been developing for a considerable time. However, he soon discovered that Anna had presented his idea as her own in a meeting with the leadership team. Not only did she fail to acknowledge David's contribution, but she also claimed that he did not support the idea. This betrayal robbed David of recognition and inflicted deep emotional and trust wounds. He felt that she was his friend, and that she had been supportive of him. Seneca argued that it's crucial to analyze the underlying causes and consequences of such actions. Betrayal, he would say, is the result of someone else's flawed judgment, their inability to adhere to ethical principles. However, it's essential not to allow betrayal to steal your inner peace. You can choose to reduce or end the relationship, not out of resentment or anger, but from a clear understanding of your worth and boundaries. David could have raged at Anna, but a Stoic would evaluate if the relationship could be salvaged. Betrayal can manifest in various forms, from disclosing personal information without consent to covert actions that undermine your interests. The key is to recognize these acts not out of anger or resentment but through careful observation and analysis. What were the motivations behind the betrayal? What were the consequences of their actions? Have you faced betrayal before? How did you handle it? Share your stories in the comments below. Perhaps your experiences can offer valuable lessons for others facing similar situations. The important thing here is that you learn from the negative experience and move forward in a positive manner. 4. Emotional manipulation. The autonomy of emotions and thoughts is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. When someone attempts to manipulate you through your emotions, they're not just weakening your inner strength, they're demonstrating a profound lack of respect for your mental freedom, attempting to control your decisions and actions through subtle, often insidious, tactics. Emotional manipulation can manifest in various forms, from insincere flattery and guilt-tripping to creating unfair emotional pressure or orchestrating sudden mood swings to throw you off balance and gain control. It comes when someone attempts to gaslight you, making you question your values and judgment. It might also happen in business, when one person takes control of the relationship by making others feel devalued. Imagine a skilled violinist with an exquisite instrument. The artist carefully adjusts each string, creating harmonious and beautiful sounds. Emotional manipulators, on the other hand, are like uncontrolled violin players, tightening the strings too much at times and leaving them too loose at others, producing jarring, unpleasant sounds. They use emotions like strings, attempting to control and manipulate others, causing them to lose their balance and stability. The manipulation creates a psychological dependency, where the victim constantly seeks acceptance and guidance from the manipulator to regain a sense of harmony. But a Stoic would have none of that. He would find ways to resist such attempts, but always in a calm manner. According to Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Therefore, valuing self-worth and maintaining a mind unaffected by these emotional games is of utmost importance. By practicing observation and analyzing situations objectively, you prevent yourself from being swept up in the whirlwind of emotions created by others. Instead, strive to maintain calmness and respond thoughtfully, refusing to allow anyone the power to control your emotions or decisions. This is a crucial step toward maintaining autonomy, preserving your dignity, and moving toward a more ethical and fulfilling life. Learn to recognize the subtle signs of emotional manipulation, such as excessive flattery, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and the use of emotional blackmail. Develop a strong sense of self-worth and refuse to allow others to define your value or dictate your actions. Practice emotional detachment, observing your emotions without being consumed by them. Respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. Remember, you are the master of your emotions, and no one has the right to control them without your consent. 5. Diminishing comments. Respect and self-esteem are precious gems that illuminate our relationships and shape our self-perception. When confronted with comments that diminish our self-worth, it's essential to recognize that these words are not mere pronouncements, they reflect the speaker's attitude and their lack of understanding of the true value of a person. These might be from bosses, colleagues, family members, or even people you've just met. Such comments can be very damaging, because they take away your confidence and make you feel like an inferior person. Imagine sharing a creative idea with a colleague, only to have them dismiss it with a condescending remark, "This idea has no value." Such words not only inflict emotional pain but also signify a lack of respect and awareness of the inherent worth of an individual. According to Epictetus, it is not things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. Therefore, instead of reacting negatively, learn to face these words with a calm and composed mind. Maintain inner peace and don't allow baseless pronouncements to disrupt your tranquility. Words can wound, but the true power lies in how we choose to confront and respond to them. Overcoming negative words is a journey of self-awareness and self-improvement. A Stoic will take the good, and discard the bad, and carry on. Each individual is the master of their thoughts and emotions, and no one can inflict lasting harm unless we allow it. By maintaining composure and self-control, we transform mental challenges into opportunities to strengthen our resilience and cultivate inner peace. Remember, you are not defined by the opinions of others. Your worth is inherent and unwavering, regardless of the negativity that may be directed toward you. Develop a strong sense of self-belief and refuse to allow diminishing comments to erode your confidence. Focus on your strengths, cultivate your talents, and surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. You are capable of achieving great things, and no one has the right to diminish your potential. 6. Unilateral benefit. Picture yourself standing on the shore, battling the turbulent sea, striving to rescue someone from the ocean's dangers. You exert every ounce of your strength, pouring your love, compassion, and determination into protecting them from harm. But when life throws you into the depths, when you desperately need help, support, and trust, you turn to find that the person you rescued has turned their back and walked away. They offer no assistance, leaving you to face your difficulties alone. It's a powerful image of an imbalanced relationship. This scenario poignantly illustrates the lack of morality, ethics, and respect that can plague human relationships. It raises fundamental questions about fairness and reciprocity. Can we build trustworthy and respectful connections when only one party benefits? A relationship that solely benefits one individual contradicts the core principles of Stoicism, where respect and fairness are essential components of a sustainable bond. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." But that kindness needs to be reciprocated for the relationship to flourish. When one person consistently prioritizes their own interests without regard for the other, they undermine the other's worth and disrupt the delicate balance of the relationship. This behavior disrupts the flow of reciprocity. The most valuable relationships are built on a foundation of fairness, where both parties contribute and receive equally. It's about mutual support, shared responsibility, and a genuine desire to see the other person thrive. When one person solely looks out for their own interests, it not only disrupts the balance but also breeds dissatisfaction and disrespect. Recognizing and understanding this behavior is of utmost importance. It acts as a warning signal, prompting us to confront the imbalance, set clear boundaries, or distance ourselves from such toxic environments. Remember, you deserve to be in relationships that are mutually beneficial, where your needs are valued and your contributions are appreciated. 7. Making you feel guilty. Imagine guilt as the strings of a puppeteer, controlling a marionette. We often find ourselves manipulated by others, with guilt serving as the instrument of control. When we allow ourselves to become overly sensitive and prone to guilt, we open the door for others to exploit our vulnerability, compelling us to obey their will. It is very often done by people close to you, who use your feelings for them to put you in a position where you take responsibility for something that isn't yours. Stoicism advises us to maintain our self-confidence in our moral compass, refusing to allow guilt to sway us easily. By mastering these unnecessary emotions, we preserve our independence and spiritual freedom. We need to develop a clear understanding of who we are as a person, to give us the confidence to avoid negative and guilt-inducing comments. According to Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When someone deliberately attempts to make you feel guilty, they might employ psychological tactics to control you, subtly pressuring you to agree with them. They might pose loaded questions, such as, "Why did you do that?" or, "Do you think you acted fairly?" They might also create situations designed to make you blame yourself, suggesting, "If you had behaved differently, could this situation have been avoided?" or, "Do you regret your decision?" These tactics harm not only your emotional well-being but also rob you of your mental freedom and autonomy. You feel pressured and devalued. It's crucial to remember that our emotions are an integral part of ourselves, and we shouldn't compromise them for anyone. Stoicism teaches us to uphold our belief in our own worth and morality, refusing to allow others to use them to control us. So, when you feel overwhelmed by guilt, remember that you have the right to take control of your emotions and refuse to allow anyone to trespass on your feelings. Maintain your ethics and self-respect in every situation. As a declaration of sovereignty, proclaim, "I am the master of my emotions," affirming that no one can infringe upon your emotional autonomy. 8. Lack of genuine support. Each individual treasures their ability to self-manage their life and maintain their spiritual independence. However, as we navigate life, we sometimes encounter a jarring realization: the absence of genuine support from others. This is not simply the lack of physical assistance, it's the loss of spiritual support, the absence of understanding and empathy. You might find yourself in a situation where you can't turn to anyone for support. Stoic philosophy champions self-sufficiency in evaluating one's own worth. But when others fail to respect your true value, it's not merely a lack of regard, it's a lack of understanding of human worth. If you find yourself in an environment devoid of genuine support, you might experience a sense of spiritual isolation, hindering your personal growth. This not only deprives you of the ability to develop and mature but also contradicts the Stoic philosophy of self-sufficiency and independence. Seneca argued that while self-reliance is essential, the absence of genuine support can be detrimental to one's well-being. He would advocate for seeking out virtuous companions who can offer guidance and encouragement. Immersed in pain and despair, you yearn for a shoulder to lean on, someone to share your deepest emotions with. However, a close friend, someone you once considered always by your side during tough times, lacks spiritual support and remains indifferent to your emotional state. This situation can leave you feeling more spiritually abandoned than ever before, as the lack of emotional support and empathy during such a difficult time not only causes harm but also damages a fundamental aspect of the relationship and your emotional equilibrium. Therefore, when you detect a lack of sincere support, consider whether that relationship aligns with the Stoic philosophy of respect and self-sufficiency. Stoicism teaches us the importance of spiritual independence and the ability to determine our own worth, without relying on others to define it. 9. Absence in critical moments. When individuals face significant challenges and require support, the absence of a reliable companion becomes an undeniable sign. These moments are when we hope for the presence and assistance of others to help us overcome obstacles and share the joy of success. It's usually obvious when someone isn't there for you, because they cannot be contacted, or they find ways to avoid you. It also makes you question whether you should have relied on them in the first place. However, when that person is absent, when they fail to respond to your calls and expectations, it leads to profound disappointment. We are taught that unity and a willingness to help during difficult times are essential for maintaining trustworthy relationships. These moments demonstrate commitment and friendship, showcasing respect and care for others. According to Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. Being present during crucial moments is not only a way to express empathy but also a way to build and strengthen our relationships with one another. When a person you trust fails to appear during critical moments, as illustrated in example number 8, when you recently lost a loved one after battling a serious illness, that person not only misses the opportunity to show commitment and friendship but also damages the trust and respect of others. This reveals a lack of respect for the value of your time and opportunities, reflecting uncertainty in emotions, elements inconsistent with the Stoic philosophy of patience, compassion, and mutual respect. Therefore, presence and support are essential for creating trustworthy relationships during important moments. Don't allow absence in crucial moments to diminish the value and meaning in your life. Instead, build a strong foundation for your valuable relationships, prioritizing those who demonstrate consistent support and empathy. Remember, true friends are those who stand by your side during both triumphs and tribulations, offering unwavering support and genuine care. 10. Constant competition. Imagine a world like a complex chessboard, where each move is not only about advancing your own position but also about surpassing your opponent. In this world, relentless competition is not just a strategy, it's a way of life, a never-ending race with no finish line, where everyone constantly strives to outdo one another. The constant need to win, and to be better than you, can be a symptom of underlying problems with the person concerned. They may not want you to succeed, because that diminishes their own position. But does this race truly bring happiness and success? Our relationships are much like a chessboard. When a relationship devolves into endless competition, it loses its original meaning of connection and support, transforming into a mental challenge. This never-ending competition can manifest in various forms. In a professional environment, people might try to overshadow you in meetings or hijack your creative ideas. In personal relationships, they often compare themselves to you to diminish your worth. Even in casual conversations, there's always a subtle competition to prove one's superiority. Epictetus argued that true contentment comes not from external validation or competition but from inner peace and self-acceptance. He'd argue that the need to diminish you points to a deep-seated problem in the person concerned. When you realize that your relationships are drowning in relentless competition, it might be an opportunity to reevaluate their true value and determine whether they serve your personal growth and happiness. Stoicism advises us that finding contentment within ourselves and harmony in relationships is a more righteous path to building meaningful connections and optimizing our spirits. Focus on your own personal growth, celebrate your own achievements, and refuse to be drawn into the trap of constant comparison. Remember, you are unique and valuable, and your worth is not determined by your ability to outshine others. Congratulations! You've reached the halfway point of this video. You're well on your way to becoming a more aware and empowered version of yourself. Take a moment to reflect on these first 10 points. What are your thoughts? What resonates with you the most? I encourage you to leave a comment sharing your insights. If you're unsure what to write, simply type "Mind governs the body" to let me know you've watched this far. Now, let's shift our focus to the next 10 signs, further equipping you to identify those who might be taking advantage of you. And so, we arrive at the end of our journey. You've now armed yourself with the knowledge of 20 signs to recognize if someone is taking advantage of you. This isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful, it's about cultivating awareness, strengthening your self-respect, and fostering healthier, more authentic relationships. By understanding these signs, you're truly opening the door to a journey of self-mastery, a journey that Stoic philosophy encourages each of us to undertake. Recognizing and understanding the signs of exploitation is an important first step toward protecting your soul and respecting yourself. It encourages you to question the true value of your relationships and whether they contribute to your growth and happiness. This is just the first step on a long journey of self-discovery and self-help. Now, go forth and use this knowledge to become a better version of yourself. Imagine that Stoic philosophy is standing at your side, guiding you through the complex maze of life and relationships. It's not just a philosophy but also a system that helps you face challenges and embrace them with courage and patience. As you embark on this journey, please join us. Click like and share to show your support. Leave a comment to share your thoughts and which signs you find the most common and recognizable. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss other useful content about Stoic philosophy. Thank you for accompanying us on this journey. See you in the next video.